Hey, well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Monday evening community call and training. Gregory Muscari here with you from home here in Bozeman, Montana. And very excited because we kind of have a triple header for you here tonight with not only myself, but Jim Gilliland, Executive Director, and Janet Kiefer, SPD, to talk about a topic that should be close to everyone's heart because it's one of the core competencies or critical skills involved in our profession, and that's effective follow-up and enrolling. And we're going to be talking about tips and scripts. And Jim, if you'll accept the invitation, I'm trying to promote you out to panelists, so please accept that invitation so you'll be able to share your beautiful face and turn your video on. And but you know, we're going to just touch on this really critical subject and, straight from the heart from the three of us on, the skills, the tips, the tricks, if you will, and some scripts that Jim is going to be sharing with you for effective follow-up and enrolling. So, Jim, I'm still waiting for you to accept the invitation. I'm trying to promote you out to panelists. So if you see that, I can allow you to talk, but we can't see you unless you jump to panelist. So let's see if we can. There we go. Okay, now we can get you promoted out here to panelist or co-host. And all right, so I'm going to turn this first part over to you, Jim, because between the three of us, we had a really juicy call, Janet and Jim and I this afternoon, and kind of incubated this training for you here tonight. I think you're really going to enjoy it. So, Jim, I'll turn it over to you.
Hey, thanks, Gregory. I'm kind of looking
Pardon me,
forward to
Jim.
tonight.
Thank you. I just wanted Gregory to lower his screen. Pardon me, Jim. Thank you.
That's okay. Yeah, we talked earlier, and one of the things we were discussing is the fact that one of the key things about prospecting, recruiting, whether it be for the product or for the business, is follow-up. You know what? I shared with you guys earlier about my wife and I, we've been married for 50 plus years now. And when I first met her, I romanced her, I dated her, got engaged, and then we got married. But the thing is, after I sold her on myself, it came down to is you don't stop there. Okay. We have to follow up. We need to follow up, whether it be our spouse, our prospects, or it might be. So one of the biggest things I see though in the downfall with people trying to build a business is the lack of follow-up. And follow-up, what it does basically, you're not bugging people, you're building relationships. Okay. Relationship building is the most important thing about this business because as you follow up with people after you've talked to them about the product or the business, as you follow up with them, you're building relationships, you're building that trust. People buy from people they like, know, and trust. And so as you talk to people, as you finish up with one conversation, you should always be going from conversation to conversation. Okay. You should always be setting the next appointment because if you don't, there's no follow-up. Now, that follow-up could be in the form of LiveWave InTouch app. I know that when I share a patch with someone, or if I send them a sample, because I still do sample once in a while, don't do a lot of it, but I want to do is follow up with them. I send them out the one on the X39 because I always lead with the X39. That's our main patch. I lead with the X39, but then I try to always send them out that InTouch app on the X39. It shows the short little video on the phototherapy. Then it goes into how to place the patch and how to use it. So that's a follow-up. Now, a follow-up could be a phone call. Okay, it doesn't have to be a text. I prefer to do phone calls, but I always like to have them see it, hear it, feel it. So when I say see it, hear it, feel it, I can talk about the patch. I've got a glutathione right now, on my neck. I tell them about the X39 and I follow up and I educate them on the X39. And then I patch them. And after I patch them, I try to do is see how it's going. In fact, I have a method that I use when I give someone a patch to try. I give them either a business card or I have a little sticky pad. And it's got, when you get ready to start your trial, call me first because I want to know they're putting it on. I want to know that they understand how to use it. That's follow up. Now, say they sign up. Say they become, I don't sign up a lot of preferred customers. I just don't do that. I want to help people build businesses. And so they register as a brand partner. My thing is this, when they become a brand partner, that's when we just start the activity. That's when we start getting more involved with them, interviewing them, find out what their goals and everything are for their future, not just of the business, but in their life. We're following up, we're building relationships. But then I set it on my calendar to follow up, follow up, follow up. Now I know, Gregory, I sent you a little thing as far as a email how I do my follow-ups and how I do uh, my phone calls, kind of a script. I learned a
Well, let
long
me,
time ago from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was a friend of mine when he's still alive. You know, I spent time on the stage with him as I would do conventions, and Jim Rohn always taught us ab lib is for amateurs, scripts are for professionals. So if you don't know what to say, I know Janet's going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Make sure that if you don't know what to say, get a script, get something to follow as you go ahead and start to build your team. Now, this PDF Gregory's going to have, I don't know if he's going to post it in the online here for you guys to grab tonight, but eventually
yeah,
we're going to do
actually,
a
Jim,
training on that.
it's in the newsletter. So everybody that got the newsletter, it's highlighted here and you just click on that and it'll pop open and everybody could print it out.
Good, good. So one thing to remember is consistency. The way this business works, like any business, is consistency. If you're consistent in your actions, your business will grow. If you're not consistent, your business may grow, but it's not going to grow as fast. So consistency in your follow-ups can lead to long-term success. Your follow-ups build relationships, and your relationships build your business. I still have customers that call me today that were my customers 25 years ago. Because even though years in full-time network marketing, I still follow up with my customers. I still
Mm.
touch base with them. And each time that touch happens, we start to build that relationship. We continue that relationship, and they know they can trust me. And so I have professional athletes. I have hundreds of doctors that I've built relationships with. And those doctors trust me because I always follow up. I follow up, I follow up, follow up. Appointment, appointment. So once again, you're not bugging them. Never beg or, people do, anything in this business. You want to follow up, build that relationship. And after you have those exposures, schedule the next exposure, schedule the next appointment. So I know that I could go all night long and teach on this, but I'm going to go ahead and pass it on back to Gregory. And Gregory, you have any questions?
Well, yeah, hold on. Let me turn my camera back on. And thank you, Jim. And I do want to highlight because I didn't get a chance to go through this whole document, but it's really well thought. There's several sections in here. There's a phone recruiting script for network marketing. And, it's, warm icebreaker, quick transition, the hook, invitation, handling objections, very detailed. Then here's another script for health conscious individuals because we've got something very powerful and through the same process. And then there's another third section here for work from home individuals. So, not everybody's why is the same. So not every discussion should be the same. So you want to talk about that, qualifying people just a bit, Jim?
Well, you know what? I always want to do is ask questions and listen.
Mm-hmm.
People need to know that you care enough to listen to them. Maybe they're not looking for just a product. Maybe they're looking for a business. or maybe they're looking
Mhm.
for something else. Maybe they're just trying to get more information. But I qualify my prospects by asking questions. I want to know what they're thinking. And if I don't take time to ask the question and truly listen, I don't mean just hear them. We can hear. I mean, my wife and I sit in the living room. She's sitting over in her chair and I'm sitting on mine, and she could be talking. I hear what she's saying, and she could say, "You're not listening to me." And I could repeat everything she's saying. But if I'm not listening and not just hearing, it's telling her I don't love her enough to pay attention and listen
Mhm.
to her. Same thing with your
Mhm.
prospects. If you hear your prospect and you listen to what they're saying, then they're going to tell you what they're looking for.
Mhm.
Okay.
You
Just
know,
like Robin. But
it's that old adage, Jim, people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And you show them you care by asking questions that you've brilliantly outlined here and then listening with your heart. You hear with your ears, but you really listen with your heart.
right. I tell you, it'll help you in all aspects of life. I am retired law enforcement. Uh, I even listen to my customers, my people I arrested. Okay. It just it's part, it's showing people that you care. Okay. So as you talk to people and they tell you they're looking for, maybe they got a health issue, or maybe they have a friend that's got a health issue. They say, well, I'm not really interested right now, but I said, well, do you know anybody that might be dealing with whether they need extra income, better health, or just might be curious? You know, ask the question. Again, I hate to say it this way, but shut up and listen. Okay. Listen to what they have to say. But you want to do is you can transition them as you're interviewing them. It could be transition them into the business opportunity or the product. I right now I'm more focused on the business. Okay. And so if I'm hearing them and they don't really have a true belief in what I'm saying, what do? I get on the phone, I do a three-way. Okay. Or whether it be on the phone or a Zoom. We do a lot of three-way Zooms.
Mhm.
They see you, they hear you, and they build, once again, they begin to like you and trust you.
Mhm.
So that's where I kind of I go with these things.
Can you repeat that Jim Rohn quote one more time? That's so valuable. I never heard that before tonight, before this afternoon when you said that.
Now Jim Rohn, he always, Jim Rohn, he's he's got to have
A lot
a
of quotable
podium.
quotes from Jim, right?
Yeah, a lot. He's got a podium. He's always got his cards. I mean, once again, he's always got his cards. As long as I knew and followed Jim Rohn, he'd always be tapping his cards on the pedestal, on the podium.
Yep.
And he would always say, "Ab lib is for amateurs.
Ad lib. Thank you.
Ab lib for amateurs. Scripts are for professionals." He
That's
is one of the
awesome.
most professional speakers in our industry and beyond. The thing is with Jim Rohn, he would always have his cards. He could say that, he'd probably taught it 1,000 times. But have you ever had one of those days that you have a kind of foggy brain? I know I've had a lot of them last week and a half as I've had this inner ear infection and a little dizzy. But the thing is, I can look at my script and I can stay
Mhm.
on track. And
Beautiful.
that's what helps us so much because what they say, well, like in that thing, I put a lot of objections in there. What if they have an objection like, I'm too busy? It says, I totally understand. Once again, you're building empathy with them. You're saying, I totally understand. That's actually what I thought too, or I thought of you, that you're really busy. Okay. You can take it so many different directions. Take a negative and turn it to a positive. Okay. Remember to always, as I talked about, is always compliment them on something.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I used to do a lot of going in homes and talking to people, and I could be in the worst home as far as the atmosphere. I always find something to compliment them on. Because when you compliment them, they drop their barrier, they drop their guard,
Mhm.
and they are more likely to listen to what you're saying. but don't ramble on. I'm rambling on right now, but remember this. Don't fire hose them. Don't vomit information on them. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, like Gregory mentioned. You want to
Mhm.
do is listen to them and explain to them what they're asking or what they need to know. And if you don't know, that's okay. Say, you know what? I'll get back to you on that.
Mhm.
And you can always do a three-way, like I said, a call or a Zoom.
Yeah. And I'll just add to that, the ultimate goal is we need to give them enough information to make an informed decision, and not everybody needs the same amount or the same information. And that's where we kind of custom tailor our response. I'm going to jump ahead to the next section here and kind of tee it up for Janet. Thank you so much, Jim. And I'm going to give your intro at the end because I had it written down. And I'm thinking, I want everybody to know Jim is a master trainer, coach. He's built very successful businesses, and now he's very focused and fast tracking on the way almost to presidential, fast tracking to senior presidential. So you're going to hear and see a lot more, Mr. Jim here. So thank you very much, Jim. That was and thank you for sharing these wonderful tips and scripts with everyone, which is available for everyone to download now. And Janet wanted me to talk about the packs because the goal is to follow up, follow up, follow up, and roll. It's like some people you need to follow up more or less, but follow up is the master skill. Robin likes to say the fortune and the friendships in the follow up. And I've got a concept I call rapid sequential exposure. The more frequent your follow up, the closer together they are, the less you'll have to make to get them to the point of decision. And then the point of decision is we've got 3 wonderful packs to choose from. And this is a downloadable chart that you can download where I've worked this up with Janet Kiefer showing the benefits of the core pack versus the advanced versus the premium. I'm not going to go over it in detail with you because you can all read and you can all download this. But this helps people understand, well, gosh, you're saving, look at the savings in the advanced pack versus the core pack. Look at the savings in the premium pack versus the advanced and the core. And, it's just the bigger the pack you get, the more ready you are to build your business and the better price you get. I know a lot of people come in with the premium pack because if you start with a premium pack and you get 20 sleeves of X39 or whatever mix you choose to get, and tomorrow you sign up somebody or after your product arrives, you've got some product in inventory for you to, use, share, sell, and loan to people. Supposing one of your good friends, one of your prospects comes in with an advanced pack which includes 6 sleeves. Oh, can't highlight that. Includes 6 sleeves. You can give them their 6 sleeves right now, and when their sleeves come in, you can get them back from you. That's just a smart way. Strike while the iron's hot. When somebody's ready to go, get them going. So, I'm not going to dwell on this too much, but this is also downloadable. You can click here and download this chart. And I think this will be helpful to use when you're helping people to make a decision which is the perfect pack for them to get started with. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Janet. And Janet, she's just the best of the best. She's a master corporate and MLM marketer. She's got an astounding career, owned a health food store, owned a gym, and now she's a health expert in LifeWave with all of us. And we just so love working together. And I know you all love her too. So I'll bow out and shut my screen off and turn it over to you, Janet.
Well, thank you so much, Gregory, and hello, everyone. He's very kind, and all of you. It's so fun to have so many of my team and friends on here. But Gregory, actually, would you put the enrollment diagram back up for
Sure.
me?
Anything.
And thank you, Jim, for what you covered with scripts, because when you're first starting, you're so confused about what to say. And I know at times you feel like, oh, I shouldn't call them, I shouldn't bug them. So I want to kind of touch on the deeper nuances a little bit here and just give you some ideas. But look at this diagram for a minute, because sometimes when you're first starting, you're not sure how to really help them make a decision, because it's really about their decision. And it isn't always about the money. And people will do a knee jerk, oh, I don't have the money. Well, please believe me that most of the time that's a knee-jerk reaction. They haven't been educated enough to make a decision. So just let that one go by. Okay, I understand. But how I explain this often myself, and you can make your choice, but I don't share the starter pack because it doesn't have any value for them. It's the company is required to offer it, but they get no product. And for $25, so what? I try to explain quite deeply that the company really recommends we're on X39 for a minimum of 1 month for every decade of our age. So if you're 40, 4 months, if you're 80, 8 months. But we know optimally you need at least 3 months. You've got to give the DNA time to replicate with the GHK copper peptide and make stem cells, right? So I talk them through that a lot, that you need to give this at least a 90-day trial. No, you probably won't feel the patch. It's working at a DNA level. But honestly, especially people over 50, we didn't get this way, whatever issues they're having overnight, right? And just be authentic. Like Jim said, be in relationship with them. But I'll say things like, honestly, when I first started, I didn't have anybody help me understand it. So you think, well, I'll just try a month. That's logical. Most of us would say that, right? So I will talk about that and I'll say, look it, I kind of thought, shouldn't I just try it for a month? But then I understood that the issues I was having with 3 years of screaming knee pain didn't come overnight. That had been going on every day for months and years, and that my body needed time. So honestly, I'll say, look it, I don't want to actually sell you 1 month because you need time with this thing. And sometimes people will call it week 3 and say it's not working because they can't feel it, even though I've told them, hey, it's at a DNA level. Did you feel your DNA yesterday? You know, you can make light of it, but you need to give it time. And then I talk about the advanced pack. Is this something your spouse is going to want to be on? Or are you thinking of this would be good to share with your mother or your sister? Well, we have this advance pack that gives you 3 months, that 90 days. It gives, let's say, your sister 3 months. And here it gives you even another discount. That advance pack gives you a $65 discount even over the core pack, right? So, I make light of, friends don't let friends buy retail because if, the company's going to be this generous, let's use it. And then on the premium pack, something that Gregory just said you might have not thought of. When you have enough people coming on board, they're excited. If I'm nearby, if I'm sitting with coffee with them and sitting down at a table and they enroll, I'll give them a pack of X39. They're excited. They want to get started with the agreement. When it comes back, theirs ships in, they'll give me one back. And so you really are in business. So with that said, I hope you can feel a little better of how to explain these packages. But honestly, it's your confidence. It's your confidence of like, even if I'll tell people, even if you don't do this, thank you for listening. But honestly, we're interesting and you're going to think about it. I will say that because we are interesting. Nobody's got this product. No one can show the results we have. And they will think about it. I had a woman just today pause me in a quarter and say, "Are you still doing the stem cell thing?" And I said, "Yep." She goes, "I'm ready." That was a year ago we talked, right? It's interesting. So where I want to follow up is if I may transition for a moment, Gregory, onto the business side. Nobody
Mhm.
woke up this morning probably thinking they wanted stem cells. No one probably woke up this morning thinking, "Ooh, I want a business," right? It's not how we are. What people are waking up thinking is, "Ooh, I need to pay that bill." If you're in the big federal government right now and they're laying off 2 million people, do you think they're all of a sudden waking up like, "Ooh, I'm not going to have a job"? And a lot of those people have had lifetime employment. I just saw the housing market in the DC metro. There's houses flooding on the market because they're selling them. So how many people actually are worried about what's my job doing? Even if they're not federal government. Have you guys watched how many retail stores are closing? Those people are out of a job. Where are they going to find a job if you're over 50? True story. AARP just this last week put out an article that said the top age for corporations is 58 and you're gone. Well, Stanford put out a report and said, we probably will live to 100. If you're 40 right now, you're probably going to live to 100. So think about it. What do you do for income after 50, after 60? And you're going to live another 30 years? People need what we have, you guys, not only health-wise, but really, to be honest, they need their time back. They want to have time with their families. They want to have a stable income. Often, be honest, ladies, we outlive men. We often outlive our income. And I've talked about this now in my life for 15 years. And finally, as women get older, they start waking up, right? So just open your heart, talk about it from a different place. I was a business owner. I didn't have many time. Business owners work round the clock. We had a chiropractor. One of my team here enrolled this chiropractor. She's young. She's probably 35. Guess what? She broke her arm. She can't adjust people. She had to wait till that arm healed. Well, how's she going to have a clientele? When she turns out the light at nights and she's got a broken arm, there's no money coming in. Business owners need a plan B. Think of those. I had a dear friend. She started her own yoga studio, really top level in Minneapolis, 2 months before the pandemic hit. She'd spent a fortune on this place. Boom, she was closed. She had to go on to Zoom and teach remotely. We don't know when the economy is going to spin us around. So it isn't that you're pitching a business, you're actually asking them about their life, like Jim said. We have a way for you to do this 15 minutes at a time. People think this is a 40-hour a week job. It's not. I'm sharing from my heart. I actively want you to feel better. Would you listen to this? Oh, by the way, if you want to share it with some people, I'll show you how to send a little video. I literally come out of the grocery store. I'll sit in the car for another 15 minutes. I'll get on the app and I'll text out a video. People can do that. They've got little bits of time here and there. They think you're talking about a 40-hour a week job. We're not. And guess what? That job never gave them bonuses for sharing an idea where we do. So think about the business differently, how you're helping their life, how you're helping their family. People literally tonight out there are praying for what you have in your hand. Will you open your mouth? That's all we ask. Thank you very much, Gregory.
Oh, what a great conclusion. It's the way I like to sometimes start meetings. How many people are here because they feel Life Wave's an answer to a prayer and the whole room raises their hand, So, Jim, did you have any final concluding thoughts you want to share with everyone before I just kind of review a few more things in the newsletter and wrap this up?
No, we're good.
Well, this was so awesome, and I'm sure everybody's got lots of good notes. This will be up on the replay on YouTube tomorrow sometime. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again real quick because there's a few other things we just wanted to touch on tonight. One is that Robin's not here tonight because she's in Salt Lake getting ready for our February VIP Welcome Center tour. We're only doing it 2 days, and just FYI, there's still a few seats left on Tuesday and Wednesday. So there's still room and time if you got somebody. We were on the phone with her a little while ago, and she says I got another enrollment at midnight last night. So there's still time. We'll let you know, and we'll let you know when the March dates are going to be. I just wanted to say congratulations to any and all of you that made the Punta Mita. Congratulations, because that was over yesterday was the conclusion of the contest period. So and I hope everybody that's was in the running for it, in addition to relying on the company, relying on your own Punta Mita point tracker. And congratulations. We look forward to many of you being there. Those of you. Now, I did hear that this link is bad from somebody, and I apologize. This link. This is available. Cindy Bedore created a new 16-minute comp plan video with the new kits. She does a fabulous job. And so that is available in the compensation plan section of Live Younger Success. So if this link doesn't work, just go to Live Younger Success into the business section and go to compensation. You'll find it there. Live Younger Tools, we know about that. Very excited that tomorrow night on the Power of the Patch, I'm going to be joined by Michelle Niels and Dr. Shauna Young. Two of our favorites are going to be on there. And just a reminder to everyone that, we have a live Power of the Patch webinar every Monday evening. And I think, Janet, you're going to be doing it next week. Is that correct? On March 4th, I think. And so thank you. And she did it last week, and Robin did it the week before. I was kind of out of commission with a cough, so I got some time off, and I'm going to keep pulling people in to do it. I've done it so long I could probably do it with my eyes closed, but I can't do it when I'm coughing. Okay, and as you can see, my cough is gone by God's grace. But there's a 24/7 Power to Platch replay. So on Wednesday, you don't have to wait until next Tuesday to send somebody the Power of the Patch. On Wednesday, you can start using the popwebinar.com. Thursday, business training, you know about that. Sunday, doc talk. Connie and her team are just knocking the cover off the ball. It's the most well attended, most impactful call for prospects, customers, and brand partners. It kind of suits all. And the old adage, when I got in networking 36 years ago, back in 1988, one of the teachings I got was never miss a meeting, never go alone. And that was in the old hotel meeting days. We went from being a hotel based to home based. Now we're a Zoom based business, but still never miss a Zoom meeting, never go alone. These meetings are to bring guests. Okay. And we all like to listen in. Robin and I listen in with or without guests, but Robin always had guests on that Sunday night call. And many times after Sunday call, they're on the phone with her signing up afterwards. So that pretty much brings a wrap to the things we had to say tonight. Again, I just want to thank you very much, Janet and Jim and everyone for being with us tonight, and wish you the best at life and LifeWave has to have and give. And we've got a secret and the world needs to know it. So thanks, everyone. Good night.